SENI 08 is kicking, and we are joined here today by an absolute legend, the legendary Master Ronnie Green. We're going to ask him some questions about his style, his history, some of his greatest achievements. So stay tuned, because we're here with Master Ronnie Green. Master Ronnie Green, thank you for joining us on the SENI stage here and at the Nest stand specifically for worlddojo.com. Just for our uneducated listeners, can I ask you just to give us a brief history of what you studied and your styles that you teach, your academy, its location, etc.?
Right. Well, to be honest, I first started doing martial arts at a very young age, at 13. Okay. Influenced really through the judo. Started judo first, and then I started to sort of like look at the jiu-jitsu, and through jiu-jitsu got through to the karate and things like that, you know, and at that time really just training. I mean, I used to dance when I was younger as well, but it was either dancing or martial arts, and I chose the martial arts because of the late Bruce Lee. Yeah,
absolutely, you know? Yeah, brilliant, superb. So what is the main style that you're known for in sort of the martial arts circuit?
I mean, people know me for Thai boxing, okay? And to be honest, I mean, my transition went through, because there was the ring sport called full contact karate.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I did go down to a place in Deansgate, Manchester, to actually look about this full contact karate. Because my friend, a lad called Brian Seabright, used to do it, you know, with Lance Lewis.
Yeah,
you know?
Superb. So you say you've been training since the age of 13, so
yes.
It's been a few years. I know you've won numerous titles.
Yeah.
Could you just give some of our viewers a list of all the titles you are to categorise you as a legend that we know you are at SENI?
Well, I'm going to start with the weights, because I fought at 3 different weight categories growing through, yeah? Okay. I started at featherweight, then I went to lightweight, and then moved up to junior welterweight. Okay. Because when I first started, there was no real Thai boxing over here, I started in full contact. But I won titles in all those areas at those weights.
Wow.
Then I moved into European Thai boxing, yeah? Won the Europeans. I'm the only British fighter really who went over to Holland and dominated in Holland and in France and, you know, in all the places which they are. And I won again all the different weight categories. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Moved into then from British then to European, and then I took on, was the first champion in WKA. So every area I've been the first to do it. You know, first to achieve it. The systems in the Europe, of course, didn't allow full Thai rules. But the key thing is, on my first fight in Holland, I fought a guy called Lonkida, who should have been fighting Lucian Carbin, okay? Who had actually broke his hand. Now this is my first fight. This guy had over 200 fights, okay? I think Bob Sykes actually put it on in the magazines, you know what I mean? So really what I achieved shouldn't have happened at that early age. I mean, I was 18 at the time.
Phenomenal.
And I beat the top fighters. The Thais weren't getting beat. You understand what I mean? If you look, unless they were heavier weights, or to be honest, really, no one's beating them. Yeah. I mean, even now when you think about, it's only recently British and European fighters have beaten the Thais. You understand what I mean? Absolutely. So even though I say so myself, what I did was more or less impossible.
And a great achievement. So what sort of time frame we're talking 80s?
Well, we're talking really from 1979.
1979 through to the 80s.
Straight all the way through to the 90s.
That is a phenomenal reign.
And I was at #1. Regarded, when you look at all the big names in the martial arts, in the sports, ring sports, I go with them. You know what I mean? The Benny Ukades, the Rob Carmers, the Roman Deckers. Basically, one thing what I've always said, I was around some very good British fighters. The only difference is that they didn't believe that they could achieve, and I'm not taking anything away from them, because I trained with them and I saw their capabilities. But you've got to take that stand and you've got to come up to the mark. And as when I was training, I said to myself, who am I going to meet? Who am I going to meet? And I've got to meet the Japanese, I've got to meet the Thais. So do I really want to do this sport? And the answer really, inside, I said yes. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things.
From a perspective of your instructors, who sort of influenced you? Who was your main instructors in maybe Thai boxing and some of the other arts?
Well, my first instructor was called, we used to call him Mr. Best, okay? And when I first met, he was from Trinidad, right? When I first met him, to be honest, I thought he was a little bit of a village idiot. I mean, he was a very sound person. You know, he'd come in and he'd dance with us kids and laugh around, you know what I mean? But there was something about him. And the first time, you know, first he came in, there was a judo mat on. And of course I wanted to do judo, and he led out the students, and he did an excellent demonstration of judo.
Brilliant.
And I went, yes, I understand now. The guy was an illusionist.
Yeah, brilliant.
You understand what I mean? And so he influenced me. And at the time, there was full contact, and then there was a demonstration team from Thailand. Okay, we were now the famous Thai masters, which we all know about. But at the time it was at Bellevue, and they were going up and down the country. But everyone was talking about them in the magazines and that. Like, my friend Brian Seabright and Lance, they talked about them because they used to train with them. So there's one time I actually went down to actually see the Thai masters. You know, and it used to be at the famous place in Deansgate where all the martial arts were. You had to go up some stairs and that lot. I remember the night I went though. It was foggy outside. The door was open. It had a light on the outside. You understand what I mean? It shone on the pavement. And as I got to the door, all I heard was just whack, 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 massive noise. And I'm thinking to myself, what's that? So I'm like, I'm having to walk upstairs, and the noise is getting louder and louder and louder. I got outside the door, and it was like, do I go in or don't I go in? You know what I mean? I ended up going in, and what I saw was phenomenal.
And you've obviously replicated that on many occasions?
For sure.
Another question from a slightly different angle. I know you've got an academy up in Manchester, and you speak passionately because you should do, because you are on a high level in the martial arts. From a kid's perspective, what do you think some of the benefits that you and more martial arts sort of generates in children? What are some of the benefits of children training?
Well, the word thing is the arts. It's about creativity. And I'm passionate about the arts, whether it's music, whether it's pain, it's about giving something, of yourself, which other people basically don't feel. You see what I mean? If you pass that on, everyone can be connected. You know what I mean? And martial arts to me was the key thing. You know?
Absolutely, lovely answer.
You know?
One final question, if you don't mind, and thank you for allowing us to do this little interview, and that is, from a sort of an achievement perspective, you've achieved so much. You've inspired absolutely thousands, millions of people worldwide, I know that factually, including my good self when I was younger. From an achievement perspective, if you had put one above the other, and if that's possible, what would be the highest there? What would be the best achievement you've ever done?
It's what you've just said, right? My main goal was to pass it on to everyone else.
Brilliant.
You understand what I mean? So at the end of the day, if that's what I've done, that's what I've achieved, then I've done what I set out to do. You understand what I mean? To lift everybody up in a positive way. If I can do it, you can do it. You know what I mean? It's that way.
You are a true legend as far as I'm concerned. Thank you, Mr. Master Ronnie Green. It's been an absolute privilege meeting you, and thanks for your honesty today. SENI away, you have just been interviewing the legendary and master Ronnie Green of Thai boxing. Some of his answers are very frank. He's inspired me, and I hope he's inspired you too.